You're a funny guy.
You're a funny guy.
You're a funny guy, Frank.
It feels good to laugh. But getting a laugh can be hard. Despite what some may say, there's no formula guaranteed to split an audience's sides.
Son, if you're not talking about a guarantee, skip it.
But there are many techniques that writers and directors use to create unforgettable comedic moments.
Margarete.
This is how comedy works. Before we prompt a giggle fit, don't forget to subscribe to StudioBinder and to click the bell to stay in the know on all our filmmaking videos. Time for some comedy.
My life is nothing but a comedy.
In ancient Rome and Greece, comedy referred to any theatrical work that had a happy ending, regardless of how funny it was. The term comedy eventually evolved and, by the Middle Ages, was more explicitly connected with humor. Although comedy by its very nature doesn't take itself seriously, it is a crucial form of storytelling.
This is a crucifixion. This is political. And don't tell me it's not.
Understanding how comedy works is crucial for finding success in the film industry, whether or not you want to make comedies. Comedic moments are everywhere.
Knock it off, get back.
In horrors, dramas, and beyond.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
We'll look at how great comic minds are able to get a laugh, both through writing and visual choices. But first, let's walk through comedy subgenres. They all make you laugh, but comedies can take many shapes and sizes. The first step in making a great comedy is having a firm grasp on your desired tone, and this comes by choosing a subgenre.
So many choices.
Do something!
One of the oldest genres of comedy is satire, which uses humor to critique political frameworks, social norms, public figures, and more.
My name is Borat, I come from Kazakhstan. Can I say first, we support your war of terror?
So why male models?
Strong satire requires deliberate and controlled writing, ensuring that the humor effectively ridicules its intended target.
But why male models?
You serious? I just told you that a moment ago.
For more on satire, check out our video on the subject. Another common subgenre is the romantic comedy, where the humor arises from one of the most universal of human experiences, finding love.
Are you okay?
Big time! I'm big time okay!
Buddy comedies are also popular. This is where there are two protagonists whose traits complement or conflict with each other comedically. For these movies, the chemistry between the leads is crucial.
If you were a chick, who's the one guy you would sleep with?
John Stamos.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup!
Another comedy subgenre is farce. This is a heightened form of comedy, which uses exaggeration to create humor. Characters are often over the top, and storylines are improbable or absurd. There's also black or dark comedy.
What do you want?
Fraggle stick car.
What is that?
These are comedies which examine typically unfunny topics that are thought of as taboo or serious.
Heads up!
This genre finds levity in those grim or morbid moments. Black comedies are not to be confused with blue comedies, which focus on raunchy and vulgar subject matter, often sexual in nature.
Oh, and this one time, at band camp, I stuck a flute in my
One of the oldest comedy styles in film is slapstick. Slapstick relies on physical humor, typically following a clumsy character placed in ridiculous situations. comedy can often be fused with other genres to create additional subcategories.
God loves a terrier.
There are action comedies, horror comedies,
Not until we bury the body.
and dramatic comedies, or dramedies.
Katrina's not my girlfriend, all right? And I doubt that she gave you the stink eye. That's just the way her face looks, you know? That's just her face.
Now let's look at how to create laughter regardless of subgenre, beginning with writing comedy.
I'm a writer, celebrating the completion of something good. Do you understand that, sailor?
Beat it, Greener.
Funny writing isn't simply a bunch of punchlines and dialogue, although that can work.
Meredith, you've slept with so many guys, you're starting to look like one. Boom, roasted. Kevin, I can't decide between a fat joke and a dumb joke. Boom, roasted. Creed, your teeth called, your breath stinks. Boom, roasted.
There are countless techniques for humorous back and forth, like repetition.
You know, for kids. You know, for kids. You know, for kids.
Wordplay.
What do you say we heat things up?
My passion, thoughts for my bride alone.
And verbal irony.
Welcome to Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of America!
Most humor stems from truth. In other words, the majority of comedies are reflections of the society in which they are made, finding humor in universal elements we all understand or have experienced.
But I got a solution.
That's what you said last time, dipshit. I got a solution. You're a dick.
Dr. Strangelove, for example, mines comedy from Cold War paranoia, playing on real fears Americans were feeling, as well as politicians everyone was witnessing.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Superbad, meanwhile, derives jokes from the pains of high school.
It's 10:33.
Even though the events of the film may spiral out of control, the core of it are settings and feelings that nearly everyone has experienced.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Oh.
Even more absurd comedies play on relatable truths. We all have heard of this line,
All right, now everybody, get in crash positions.
which makes this all the funnier. Once a general truth or relatable situation has been established, the comedy often comes from escalation or subversion. Escalation means taking a real-life observation and making it bigger, to the point where it is self-evidently absurd.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Anchorman, for example, takes the sexism in 70s broadcast news and beyond and exaggerates the observation to comic proportions.
And she does have a nice big old behind. I'd like to put some barbecue sauce on that butt and just...
Stop it!
Office Space takes the universal boredom of the 9-to-5 and makes it even more boring.
Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking. Just a moment. Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking. Just a moment. Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking.
But escalation can also be more subtle. Everyone has been in a conversation they want to get out of, and in this scene, this familiar feeling is just slightly played up so that it's overly comic.
One word.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening?
Yes, I am.
Plastics.
Exactly how do you mean?
There's a great future in plastics. Think about it. Will you think about it?
Yes, I will.
Enough said. That's a deal.
Subversion, meanwhile, is where the punchline comes from twisting the familiar into something unexpected.
You thinking what I'm thinking, partner? Aim for the bushes.
Think of this scene from The Other Guys. It is presented as a familiar heroic action scene with grandiose music, but ends with an abrupt subversion of expectations. Subversion is typically used in the comic rule of 3. where two things are set up to create a pattern, and then the third thing subverts that pattern.
Where is Dr. Evil hiding? Why would he tell me? I'm just one of his low-level functionaries. Where is Dr. Evil hiding? You'll have to torture me, I'll never tell you. Where's Dr. Evil hiding? Damn! 3 times. He's hiding in the secret volcano layer.
For more on this concept, check out our video on the rule of 3. Another form of subversion can be found in metacomedy, which subverts the very form of filmmaking by drawing attention to it.
So now this department has invested a lot of money to make sure Jump Street keeps going. We've doubled their budget, as if spending twice the money guaranteed twice the profit. Yeah, like that's gonna work.
While the comedy scripts certainly need to be funny, humor can also be augmented and created through other filmmaking techniques. Let's look at visual comedy. Only utilizing jokes in a script leaves out the plethora of tools a filmmaker has at their disposal to make an audience laugh. Humor can be created through simple staging choices. These gags can be seen most clearly in comedies of the silent era. Buster Keaton was the master of comedic staging, relying on the specifics of a given setting to provide humor. He typically covered these jokes with a wide angle so the audience could take in all the visual information of the space. Comedic staging doesn't have to be huge stunts. This shot creates visual comedy by implicitly comparing Sean to zombies. As Shaun of the Dead illustrates, a camera move can create humor too. Often this is to reveal new information, which subverts or exaggerates the scene. A pan in Blazing Saddles subverts the entire film by revealing it's taking place on a set. A zoom out highlights a character's location.
How am I doing? Eating so much son.
Hey!
What?
This is an elementary school. Watch your spewing mouth, you animal! Hey!
A focus shift reveals a character's presence in the room.
Oh my God, did you see Brian's hat? Vincent, oh ha 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 ha.
What the hell?
The composition of a shot can also elevate or create a gag, playing with expectations or creating funny juxtapositions. Even lighting can elevate comedy. A strong backlight, for example, comically heightens a brawl. Annie Hall's low-key lighting in Dwayne's room emphasizes just how creepy he is.
Sometimes when I'm driving on the road at night, I see 2 headlights coming toward me. Fast, I have this sudden impulse to turn the wheel quickly, head on into the oncoming car.
Production design, too, can play a big role in building humor. Wes Anderson is a big fan of this technique, often using production design to create comedic characterizations.
Chaz Tenenbaum had since elementary school taken most of his meals in his room, standing up at his desk with a cup of coffee to save time.
Production design in Garden State creates a more overt gag. Of course, a huge element of comedy lies in performance. Whether or not a movie is funny can often rest on the shoulders of its actors.
Oh my God, it burns so good.
A comedic performance can take a variety of forms.
Conditioner is better. I leave the hair silky and smooth.
Some comedy actors lean into exaggeration, making characters larger than life and less grounded in reality. Typically, these types of characters will need to play off a straight man, a normal person who can point out the absurdity of what is happening before them.
See, you're doing it right now. Can you just act like a human boy for 1 minute here? Look at me like a person. You can't do it for more than a few seconds. Look at me like a human boy. Don't mess around with me. You're going to be back on that plane.
But more subtle and nuanced genres of comedy often require more subtle and nuanced performances.
Have you thought about what animals
you want to be if you don't make it?
A lobster.
Deadpan performances, for example, downplay the craziness of situations.
Is this some sort of epidemic or what?
It's zombies.
What are you saying?
Well, it's the undead. They've been reanimated. Caused by the Earth having been pulled off its axis. Caused by the polar fracking.
But the authorities and energy people keep saying that's not true.
There's an old saying that comedy is timing, and so it should come as no surprise that editing is hugely important in making jokes land.
Dad, what's that?
I don't know, son, but it's got great, big nuts! Hot, salty nuts!
Smart editing can enhance comedic timing, creating a pregnant pause
with anticipation.
or a quick and witty back and forth.
Where's your mom? My mom's in the car. Where's your father? He's at work. What about your brothers and your sisters? I'm an only child. Where do you live? I can't tell you that. Why not? Because you're a stranger.
But editing can also be used to create a punchline itself. Smash cuts are a common humorous editing technique.
Hey, could I use your guys' phone for a sec?
In this scene from Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, the music swells make us think the characters may get sucked back into the game, only for a smash cut to comically subvert these expectations. A smash cut can also create funny juxtapositions.
Listen, there is no ice cream in your future.
One common form of this is referred to as the Gilligan cut, named after the iconic TV show, where a character says there's no way something will happen, and the scene cuts to that very thing happening.
We are not going, and that's final.
Hey, come on, Shrek, we don't want to hit traffic.
Great comedies use all of the filmmaking tools at their disposal to make an audience laugh.
Heavenly Father, Heavenly Father. That was so great. You were fantastic. You were great. That was great. Congratulations. It was so good. I don't want to do this anymore. What are you talking about? I don't want to do it. I just want to run Heavenly God, Heavenly God.
One thing is for certain, no matter what techniques you use or don't use, a comedy's effectiveness is in the eye of the beholder.
Comedy is subjective, Murray.
What's funny to one person may not be to someone else.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
All you can do is create something that makes you laugh and hope that others will laugh along with you.
Did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive when he'd put on a dress and play a girl bunny?
Get started on your side-splitting work with StudioBinder screenwriting and storyboard software. That's our time, folks. Remember, sometimes laughter really is the best medicine.
Ha